Well, hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back. I hope you guys are doing fantastic out there. I've got another offering today from Nitecore. This one I'm very excited about. This is their new headlamp. This is model HC68. Now, the current price point at the time of me filming this video for this headlamp is around $100. Now, this is high performance dual beam e-focus headlamp, 2000 lumens on the maximum brightness setting, and it's powered by two Luminus SST40 LEDs, so very cool. Accessories included are a USB-C charging cable, and it's also comes with an 18650 lithium-ion rechargeable battery that operates at 3500 milliamp hour capacity. So this light, when I first got this, I was a little bit overwhelmed because it has a lot of function to it. But after about 5 minutes of studying, this thing's very simple. And I'm going to show you how simple it is in this video here today. So as you can see here, we have three different modes. We have spotlight, floodlight, and then we also have an auxiliary mode. It doesn't say right here. Actually, it says it right here, auxiliary. And then there is a USB-C charging port. And the cool thing about this light is not only will it operate on the 18650 button top batteries, it won't use a flat top, but it'll also use dual CR123s or dual RCR123s. So that's very cool. Some of the highlights of this light, right here you have a column for spotlight, you have 1800 lumens, 202 meters of throw, 10,300 candela, 2 meters of impact resistance, and 2 meters of waterproof resistance. And then, of course, if you look at the floodlight, you get 1,400 lumens, 77 meters of throw, and then you get 1,500 on the candela. Now, this light is manufactured in China, so here are some of the features. Feel free to pause your screen if you want to read any of that information. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing opened up. I want to say thank you right off the bat while I'm thinking about it to Nitecore for sending this light out for review. So you can see that everything is packaged very well. There's nothing left in the box. I'm going to set the light aside for a quick second. Quick operation guide. Feel free to pause. I'll be talking about all this stuff in this video, so it's very simple. The next thing you see is this little card. This is contact information for Nitecore, and I believe this is a warranty card. Yeah, so there you fill that out. And it's all the warranty information for this light. And then of course we have the user's manual, and there's a little bit of information about warranty, but let me just go ahead and open this up right to where we need to look at, which is going to be a quick look at our features of the light. We're going to go down here to some of the specifications, some of the accessories. These are the batteries that you can operate with this light. Here's some technical data of the light. So these are run times and things like that. I'll be talking about all this in this video here. Right here is, like I showed, some warranty information, contact information for Nitecore. And let's get on here. It's talking about battery installation and removal of the batteries, how to charge the light, battery installation or removal, talks about the charging of the light, talks about the white light, and auxiliary lights and special modes, power level indicator. Not to reiterate, folks, but I'm going to be talking about all of that in this video today. There's a USB-C charging cable included with the light, so very nice. I like the touch that they have on this. They got the little Velcro enclosure there that holds that USB-C cable together. And then of course, when we pull out the light, we also have two spare replacement O-rings. So this is what keeps the flashlight or headlamp, for that matter, IPX8 waterproof down to 2 meters. So very cool. Now, first look at the light. You have 180 degrees of rotation up and down that you can put this light on. So this thing can go up, and it's kind of stiff, which I like, because if you're going to be moving around a lot, you don't have to worry about this thing adjusting on you. So it's a little heavy to move it, but once you get it set to where you want it, it stays there. That's what I really like about that. So you have have a positive button and a negative button, and then on the side of the light you have the actual power button. You have a spotlight, auxiliary lights which are red, and then you have the floodlight. So very cool. Right here is the battery cap where you can take this off and you can get access to the battery. And you have to do that when you first get this light because they put an insulation film that we need to remove prior to operating this light. There's a look at the dual spring tail cap. So very nice. I mean, that construction of that tail cap is fantastic. So here is the battery itself, and right there, there's that little insulation film. We're gonna discard that for now. So we have a standard 18650 lithium ion rechargeable battery, operates at 3,500 milliamp hour, and this battery pulls 8 amp of current. So you got the positive there, as you can see it's a button top, and then there's the negative end of the battery. So you can use standard 18650s as long as they can pull 8 amps of performance. Now the battery tube, you can see inside, it's nice and thick. We're going to insert the battery with the positive towards the head of the light, and we will screw on the tail cap. Now you'll notice right here, there's that O-ring. See that O-ring popping up? As you screw down this tail cap, it goes over that O-ring and it establishes the IPX8 waterproof standard that this light has. You can also notice when I put the battery in that we had some flashing right there. That's telling us that the status of the battery is good. We have the power button. Again, we have the head strap. They've done a good job on this head strap by putting this bead of silicone right here. So that helps reduce sweat from your forehead and stuff like that. And they also have on the back here, they've got this portion right here which aids in comfort, and it also keeps this headband very nice and secure to whatever you're putting it on, whether you got a hat or just your head itself. This is a rubberized kind of material, so it's flexible and it's pretty comfortable on the head. The light isn't that heavy either. So right here on this opposite end, you can barely see the indicator under there. It's got a USB symbol. So what we need to do is we need to unthread this, and it's kind of tight. And the cool thing is we're going to expose the USB-C charging port. Now this doesn't come all the way off. This just unthreads just enough to access that USB-C port. And there's also a secondary O-ring right there that helps keep that IPX8 waterproof standard. So you have O-rings on both sides. So now that we have that USB-C port exposed, we're gonna go ahead and charge this light and stretch that bad boy out. That's about probably 2 feet long. We will plug it in right here on the light. You'll see a flashing blue indicator, and about 3 hours to charge this light if it's fully dead. And here you can see that the light is solid, so charging is complete. We're gonna go ahead and disconnect the USB-C, and then we will tighten up this side here, and we will get this light ready for operation. Operating this light is extremely simple. We have the on-off button here, and then we have the plus or minus buttons here. So if we single press the on-off button, you'll notice that the light will turn on. Now the LED that we have here illuminated is the spotlight LED, and as you can see, it's on the lowest setting. That's called ultra low. That's 1 lumen. That'll last 800 hours. That's crazy. That's 33.3 days of runtime on this setting. It gives us 4 meters of throw, and it puts out 4 candela. Now, if we want to move up in brightness, we'll just push the positive or the plus, and it'll cycle up to the next mode. We are now on low. This is 50 lumens. This will last for 28 hours. That's 1.16 days of runtime. It'll give us 32 meters of throw, and it puts out a candela rating of 280. Push the positive button again. We're going to go up to medium. This is 250 lumens. This will last for 6 hours of runtime, it produces 75 meters of throw and 1420 candela. Now, if I push positive again, we're going to go up to high. This is 950 lumens for 2.5 hours. This will give us 147 meters of throw and 5400 on the candela. Now, pushing the positive one more time, it's going to take us to what they call higher. This is 1800 lumens for 30 minutes, and then it'll step down. This will give us 202 meters of throw. This is a very significant amount of light. 10,300 on the candela. Now, if you notice, if I push the positive button anymore, it's not going to do anything because we're already at what they call higher. So from here, we can push the minus button, and we'll cycle down to high, push it again, cycle down to medium, push it again, cycle down to low, and then push it a final time, and we will be back on that ultra low setting. And then of course, we push the power button and the light will turn off. And then if we push the power button again, you'll notice that the light comes on. Now let's find out if this light has a memory. So we bumped it up to low. Let's push the power button. Let's push the power button again. You can see that it returns to low. Now if we go push the minus button and we go down to the lowest test setting and we want to switch over to the floodlight, we'll just push the minus button. Just think of it this way. You have a left LED and a right LED, and you have a left button and a right button. So from the lowest setting on either one, you just push the corresponding button to which LED you want to run. So you see how we swapped over? If we want this LED and we're on the lowest setting, just push and hold that LED and you can just cycle back and forth. So now that we're talking about the floodlight, the run times are the same. So this is going to also be 1 lumen. 800 hours of runtime, 33.3 days. The distance of throw is going to be a little bit less because this is a floodlight. We're only going to get 2 meters of throw. This will put out a candela rating of 1. And then if we push the positive, we'll go up to the next setting, which is low. This is 45 lumens, 28 hours of runtime. This is going to give us 1.16 days of runtime, 18 meters of throw, and the candela rating is 87. And again, you can see that it's a really floody beam. Push it again. We're going to go up to medium. This is 220 lumens. The run times, like I say, they are identical regardless of which LED you're on. We're going to have 6 hours of runtime, 29 meters of throw, 210 on the candela. And then if we push the positive again, we're going to go to high. We're looking at 850 lumens, 2.5 hours of runtime, 57 meters of throw, and 820 on the candela. Now pushing the positive one more time, you can see we are on higher, 1400 lumens for 30 minutes, and then it'll start stepping down. This will give us 77 meters of throw, 1500 on the candela. And just like before, if I push the positive button again, I can't go up anymore. I can only go down from here because I'm on what they call higher. So I'll push the minus button. It's going to go down to high, push it again, it goes down to medium, again goes down to low, and then of course back down to ultra low. Now, if you want to switch from one side to the other while you're on maybe, let's say, a higher setting, then all you have to do is go to that setting and push the corresponding button and just hold it down, and you'll see that the other one will start to illuminate and the other one will go off. And depending on what setting you're on, whether it's low, medium, high, or higher, you can use that function. So if we want, let's say we're on higher and we want to go over here, we want to go from this one to that one. Remember, we're just going to push the corresponding button to the LED that we want. We're going to hold that button down, and it'll take this one and turn it down to off, and it'll turn this one up and on to that setting that we were on. Now from here, again, we can push the minus to reduce the brightness level down, and it's a very cool function. It's a very cool feature. I'll do it again from this angle. So right now we have the left LED on ultra low. We're going to push the positive. Let's just get it up to high, for example. Let's say we want to go from this one to this one and we want to stay on high. We'll just push and hold the right corresponding button because we want the right LED. Push and hold, and you see it transfers the LED from the left to the right, and we're going to be on the same exact setting. And again, from here we can push down all the way till we get down to ultra low. And then of course we push the power switch and we turn the light off. So that's very, very cool. Now there are some other options with these two LEDs in the middle. These are the auxiliary settings, and what we'll do is we'll double click the power button from the off position. So you got to double click it kind of quickly. You'll see that we will have red. This is low red. This is going to give us 2 meters of throw, and this is 3 lumens. It'll last 110 hours. Okay, that's 4.58 days. Now if we push the positive to cycle through the modes, you'll notice that the red will go to high. 4 meters of throw, 11 lumens, 30 hours of runtime, 1.25 days. If we push it again, we will see a red flash. This is 11 lumens for 160 hours. That's over 6 days, over 6.5 days of runtime. Now the next one, if I push positive again, it's going to take us to a beacon setting. So this is very bright, 2000 lumens, so prepare your eyes for this. Push the positive, it's going to give us a beacon. And it's just going to do that over and over and over. It does not specify what the runtime of beacon is in the manual, so I couldn't tell you how long that's going to last, but I'm going to guess that it's a long time. I'm going to guess multiple days. Now if we push the positive again, we will go to the very last setting of SOS. This is the last auxiliary setting. SOS, this is 2000 lumens. Again, it does not specify the runtime. Now, if we push the positive, we can't go any more because we're already on the highest setting on the auxiliary settings, so we can only go backwards from here. So if I push the minus, we'll go back down to the boost, or excuse me, beacon. Then we'll push it again, we'll go to the red flash. We'll push it again, we'll go to high, and push it again, we will go back down to low. So very cool functions. If we turn the light off and then we turn the light back on, you'll see that it'll bring us right back to that ultra low 1 lumen spotlight mode. Now this light does have a very impressive turbo mode, and that's what they talk about on the packaging here. They talk about 2000 lumens turbo, right? From off, there's 2 ways to get to turbo. From off, we're just gonna long press the side button. We're gonna long press and we get both LEDs on maximum brightness, and that's how we get to turbo. Okay, so if we push the button, we'll turn the light off. And then if we push it again, it's going to come back to that ultra low spotlight because that's what we were on before we accessed turbo. Now let's say, for example, let's go up to, let's say high here. Let's say the light's already on and we want to access the turbo. What we'll do is we'll long press, we'll access the turbo. Now if we single press, it's going to take it off of turbo right back to the brightness level that we were on prior to turbo, which was in our case high. So a single press, look at that, brings it right back to high. So very, very intuitive light. This thing works good. 2000 lumens on that turbo setting. That is crazy. You have dual Luminus SST40 LEDs. They have TIR optic lenses like you can see. And if you didn't notice, I didn't mention the dimensions of this light. So we got 91.5 millimeters by 34.75 millimeters by 26.5 millimeters. Now, if you want to look at that in inches, that's 3.60 inches by 1.37 inches by 1.04 inches. The weight of this light is 118 grams or 4.18 ounces. That's with the headband, but without the battery. Now, if you include the battery, it weighs 5 point something ounces. I can't tell you exactly. Another thing that I want to make note of, and this is really cool, when the light is off, if you push the plus or minus button, you'll see the power level indicator will illuminate between these buttons. So you see 1, 2, 3 flashes. If you see 3 flashes, it's telling us that our battery life is above 50%. Now, if I push this and I only see 2 flashes, it's telling me that we're below 50%. And if we see 1 flash, it's telling us that our battery is below 10%. So this light is fantastic. It's got a lot of function to it. I really like this one. Okay, let's test the IPX8 waterproof standard. Ooh, let's take a look. So we're gonna take this light, let's turn it on, and you can see that we are on ultra low. Let's bump it up to low. And I'm just gonna dunk the light itself. I'm not gonna dunk the whole head strap and everything in there. Just going to dunk the light and then pull it out, and then we will cycle up in the modes here and see if the buttons work. And you can see that everything's working good. Let's transfer over to the other LED. Let's try that, and you can see that that works. And then let's go down in the modes, and it looks like everything is working fine. Push that off. Double press for the auxiliary. Let's go to high red. Let's go to flashing red. Let's get that cool beacon and SOS. And then of course, minus is going to go back down to beacon, back down to flashing red, back down to high, back down to low. And as you can see, this light clearly passes the IPX8 waterproof testing with flying colors. Okay, right now we are on ultra low. And what I'm going to do in this segment of these night shots, I'm going to do all of the floodlight first, and then I'll switch it over to spotlight. And then at the end, I'll switch it over to the auxiliary settings. So again, this is ultra low. This is going to give us 33 days of runtime, 800 hours. This is a good setting if you're trying to look into a pack, look for a wound, something like that. This is a lot of light and it works very good. Now, if I single press the positive button, you can see that we are now on low. This is 45 lumens, and this will give us 28 hours of runtime. That's 1.16 days. This will give us 18 meters of throw. Now, if I push it again, the positive button, you can see that we are now on medium. 220 lumens for 6 hours, and this very floody light's going to give me 29 meters of throw. Push that positive button again, it's going to bump us up to high, 850 lumens. Look at how that lights everything up in the room. 2.5 hours of runtime, 57 meters of throw. And then if I push the positive one last time, we will get to higher. This is 1400 lumens coming out of this puppy. 30 minutes of runtime before it starts stepping down. We get 77 meters of throw, and this is just a fantastic settings. Now I'm going to just kind of cycle down, and then when I get to the bottom of the spectrum, I'm going to get to switch it over to spotlight. So we're on high now, we're on medium, we're on low, and then now we are going to switch down to ultra low, and from here I'm going to switch it over. Now we're looking at spotlight. We have 1 lumen, we have 33.3 days. Crazy. We have, I think it's 4 meters of throw. And you can't quite tell very well with the camera if it's picking it up or not. If I push the positive, we'll bump up to low. This is 50 lumens for 28 hours, 1.16 days, and it gives us 32 meters of throw on this setting. Push that positive button again, we go up to 250 lumens. Now you can see that the pattern is a lot different. We're on a spotlight type pattern. 250 lumens, 6 hours, 75 meters of throw. If I push the positive again, it's going to put us up to high, 950 lumens for 2.5 hours, 147 meters of throw. That is fantastic. If I push the positive one last time, we're going to get up to higher. This is 1800 lumens for 30 minutes. Then it'll start stepping down. We get 202 meters of throw out of this light. That is just fantastic. Now I'm going to push the minus button, and we're just going to start cycling down from higher, down to high, down to medium, down to low, and then of course down to ultra low. Now if I push the power button off and then I push the power button twice quickly, we're going to come on to the auxiliary mode. Okay, so we have the first auxiliary red light of low. This one is pretty cool. We're dealing with 3 lumens. This will give us 110 hours of runtime. That's 4.5 days of runtime. Now if I push the positive, we're going to bump up to the next mode. You can see that this is red high, and we're dealing with 11 lumens for 30 hours. That's 1.25 days. That's pretty significant. And on this setting, we get 4 meters of throw. If I single press the positive button again, you can see that we get onto the red flashing mode. This is good for signaling and things like that. And we're going to be dealing with 11 lumens for 160 hours. That's over 6 days of runtime on this setting. If I single press the positive button again, we get to that beacon mode. 2000 lumens. Does not specify how long it runs. And then if I push it one more time, we go into the SOS mode. and that is just fantastic. We can't climb any higher in the settings on auxiliaries, so we can only go down from here. My final thoughts on this light are very simple. I think that Nitecore hit a home run with this light. This light is not plastic. This is an aluminum body. This thing is very, very tough. I love this light. I think it's going to do great things. I really like this. The beam patterns are nice. It's nice to be able to shift back and forth. It's very easy to understand. You got a plus and a minus. It does have that memory mode. It's just a fantastic light. So I want to say thank you guys for joining me today on this video of the Nitecore HC68. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to leave comments down below. Check the description box down below because I'll put a link to where you can find this light. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.